normally add other people to phone calls.
And good morning and welcome to the WSJM video live stream. Darn it.
Darn it.
What are you doing over there?
I don't know.
Were you checking?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We are on the video live stream, and it was a Herculean effort, I must say.
Kind of like a NASCAR in here.
Well, the computer, I don't know what the heck happened over the weekend, but one of the computers that will be getting out of the system sooner than it thought, was giving us a hard time. So I found a back way into the system. The Matrix has not defeated us yet.
We
took both the red pill and the blue pill.
You are Neo.
Boy, oh boy! You ever notice if you mess with the letters of Neo, it's one.
Yeah.
You are the one.
You are the one.
If you ever mess with the letters of Ken, you can spell neck.
Well, there you go.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Lundberg. Mike Weibel's over here. Happy Monday to you, Mike.
Happy Monday to you.
It's good to see you. We've got some news and weather and a few other things. Be careful out there. It's foggy this morning.
Yep.
If you watch this back during the afternoon, it'll be gone. We'll be right back.
10% off and up to $100 in free gifts with purchase. Go to buyoptimizers.com/radio and use code RADIO today.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. I think we got the video live stream working.
I'm checking. Hold on.
I had to do a juggling act and a great Herculean effort to outsmart Windows 95 or whatever operating system we have on there.
The best that 1995 had to offer.
Exactly. A couple of closings and delays to tell you about this morning about schools. The closings and delays are brought to you by Kepner's Precision Auto Crafters. If you want to take a look at the full list, we've only got 2 on there right now. But if you want to take a look at those at any time, if we're not talking about them on the air, you can do so. Just go to WSJM.com/closings, or you can just click on the little closings tab at the top. There are two 2-hour delays. 2-hour delays. Bloomingdale Public Schools announcing a 2-hour delay this morning, and then Watervliet Public Schools announcing a 2-hour delay this morning. Both of them due to the heavy fog and the low visibility. If you're a part of a school district and you've got a delay and you haven't logged them in yet, go ahead and do that. And we'll share that information as well. But so far we've got 2 coming in, 2-hour delays due to heavy fog and low visibility. It's foggy out there right now. An hour ago, Mike Weibel, a little over an hour ago, Mike Weibel, co-host here, was coming in, and you said foggy. Be careful.
Soupy, almost soupy, you could say.
Soupy out there. The temperature it's because we have ripe conditions for fog right now. It's 49 degrees and partly cloudy in Benton Harbor. St. Joseph, if we could see the clouds, they would be partly cloudy as well, 49 degrees there. South Haven, 50 degrees, 49 in Buchanan, 49 in Buffalo. And Dowagiac is 48 degrees. But again, fog out there. We do expect partly sunny skies when we get into the morning hours in the afternoon. Afternoon or evening chance of rain, about a 40% chance of evening rain showers, a high around 58 today. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, mostly cloudy. 60% chance of rain showers, southeast winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, low around 54, and gusts up to 30 miles per hour. So we're expecting gusty winds this week.
Yes.
This is going to start this evening. Tomorrow, forecast, cloudy skies, 70% chance of rain early, high around 62, southwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting up to 35. And then looking ahead at Wednesday, mostly cloudy, 40% chance of rain showers, high around 50, low around 43 degrees.
If I look at Apple Weather,
yes,
it says on Wednesday, low at 37.
Wow.
Then on Thursday, low of 34. And
Thursday is going to get down to 32 degrees, according to our meteorologists at WSBT.
Well,
so that's the one we're going to go with.
Okay. So 32.
Yeah.
So and after that, it's 30. So
yeah,
here we are.
You think we're getting into the cold?
I think we are.
I mean, I've seen on social media people are trying to start this rumor about snow.
Yeah, it's been talked about all weekend long. I hear this week is flakes.
In the UP, flakes. Maybe. All right. We've got news to talk about this morning. Also, As Mike and I talked about earlier today, Niles football, high school football boys program, biggest win of in the history of the Niles high school football program
ever.
Yeah, they beat Portland 37-34 Friday to claim the Division IV Regional 2 championship. So congratulations! That's the first in program history. The title, first time they got that in program history. It sends the Vikings into the semifinal contest next Saturday, 1 p.m. versus Grand Rapids South Christian. Location for the game to be determined by the MHSAA. So congratulations to the Niles High School football team. It's interesting because as far as they go, you can't say this for Lakeshore, but for St. Joseph, for as far as they go, St. Joseph beat them.
Right.
So they're better.
Right.
Darn it.
Doggone it.
Doggone it. And I feel good about myself.
Exactly. And people like me.
Yeah, and people like me. It's 7:09, and it's the WSJM Morning Show. Some of the news stories that we're covering this morning, things that we are talking about. St. Joe today is gearing up for its winter events featuring the Window Wonderland, Luminary Weekend, the Countdown to the New Year, and a whole bunch more. Danielle Crevier of St. Joe Today tells us the holiday events will start this Friday with some fun for the entire family, downtown St. Joseph.
So it's just really important to us to host, community events, and especially during the holiday season, we're encouraging everyone to shop locally, to spend those, dollars in the community. And so by hosting these events to get people downtown, it's just a really great way to showcase, all the great, amazing businesses we have in Michigan's Great Southwest.
The winter kickoff begins Friday with the Luminary event in downtown St. Joe. Also starting that evening will be the Window Wonderland, where people can vote for their favorite window displays.
Nice.
Yeah, Crevier says it's the first weekend of the winter events, and they have a whole lot more that will follow.
November 30th is the Small Business Saturday. So again, that's just another way to spend those dollars locally, really push that for the holiday shopping season. And then that following weekend kind of wraps up our holiday events, but we've got Merry and Bright Weekend, which is December 6th through the 8th. And so on Friday, December 6th, the city of St. Joseph will host Light Up the Bluff.
Light Up the Bluff happens that Friday at 6:30 p.m. The Bluff will be lit each day until February 15th. That's
Awesome.
late.
Yeah. It does seem late. But
Yeah, we have the full list of events on our website at WSJM.com.
I feel very old when I make this statement, but it'll be here before you know it. It'll be, time goes by so fast.
Time's going so fast.
It'll be, it's going to be 2032 by tomorrow.
Yeah. It's Christmas shopping. Got to get it done. The Michigan Department of Transportation has been putting a new focus on the mental health of its staff as suicides among construction workers have been on the rise. Speaking on the latest episode of the MDOT podcast, Talking Michigan Transportation, Agency Chief Engineer Greg Brunner said in Michigan, a construction worker is now 12 times more likely to die by suicide than by an on-the-job injury.
When you start looking at stats overall in the construction industry, that has the second highest rate of suicide out of any industry in the U.S. behind mining. And when you start thinking about it, construction's a high stress job. Everything's low bid. So there's tight time frames, tight schedules. You're away from your family a lot.
Brunner started to notice the toll stress can take on MDOT employees when he had a role helping first responders prepare for crash response. Then he started to learn about the suicide rate among construction workers.
I think we've got about 300 trees that are going to get loaded.
When you look in the U.S., there's almost 50,000 suicides a year overall. And in 2022, 5,000 of those were from construction folks. 2023, 7,000. So that number is increasing.
Now, Brunner said the stress of the job is a problem, but so is the tendency of men, who make up the majority of the construction workers, to bottle up their feelings of distress. He said MDOT recently convened a mental health resource group, and he was surprised by the high turnout at its first meeting. Some attendees said they wished something like that existed sooner, back when someone they knew took their own life. A panel convened by the Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials focused on construction worker mental health just last month. Good news for deer. The number of hunters keeps going down in Michigan. Firearm deer season opened on Friday in Michigan. Michigan Department of Natural Resources deer biologist Samantha Courtney says they're just not seeing as many hunters as they used to see in the past.
We're hoping it'll be stable this year, but, recently in the past decade or so, we have been experiencing a decline in hunter numbers. So we're hoping that, we can sort of level that off this year and continue hopefully recruiting new hunters, but we'll see what happens.
Courtney says part of the problem is generational. She says younger people aren't picking it up. It's because they won't put their phones down.
Right.
Right. Michigan is home to 2 million deer that have been causing a lot of crashes out on the roadways lately. So
especially on foggy mornings.
Do be careful. Yeah, especially with the fog out there and the deer may be on the move because it's warm. It's warm out there for them.
It is, yeah.
And so they may be on the move, being chased around by hunters, so do be careful. Finally, this morning, Wamhoff Farms Nursery in Gobles will welcome volunteers, veterans, and dignitaries coming up on December 2nd to load up FedEx trucks with hundreds of Christmas trees to be sent out to families living on military bases around the country as part of this year's Trees for the Troops program. The farm's Betsy Wamhoff Perales tells us this is the 19th year that they've taken part in the Trees for Troops. So far, she knows about 70 volunteers who plan to come up and help load the trees this year.
I think we've got about 300 trees that are going to get loaded here at the farm, give or take. We get consumer donations to customers that buy trees that want to send them to the troops. So there's some last-minute additions.
Wamhoff Perales says the trees leaving Wamhoff Farms this year go to the Columbus Air Force Base in Missouri and Fort Knox in Kentucky. She says it feels great to take part in that program every winter season.
It's very hectic and very wonderful. There's just a lot of smiling faces. It's the coolest thing. It's like our favorite thing of the event of the year.
Special guests for the December load up will include State Representative Pauline Wenzel, representatives from Senator Debbie Stabenow's office, and the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. Last year, Trees for the Troops nationally passed the 300,000 mark in the number of Christmas trees they've given to military personnel and their families since starting back in 2005, way back in 2005.
Way back when.
Yeah, Wamhoff Perales says she's glad to have contributed. Anyone who wants to help out on the big day, just show up at the farm at 10 a.m. and they will use your muscle and your brawn and your help.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's some of the news that
What
we're
a cool
following
thing.
from the WSJM newsroom. We've got sports coming up in just a minute and some more chit chat. Mike and I are on the video live stream. We worked it out. We used some Scotch tape, some duct tape.
We MacGyvered it.
We MacGyvered it, a paper clip, and the computer is now working. So we've got the video live stream up and operating. You can watch that on Facebook and YouTube. Never miss an episode by, what do?
You got to like, subscribe, and follow.
You're always good at that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Like, subscribe, follow us on WSJM.
Sunday in the NFL, the Detroit Lions score touchdowns on.
I feel like the show's going at 110 miles an hour this morning.
We are flying.
It is.
7:16 already.
Let's see. So we do that one, and we do that one, and let's see. Let's not do that one. Okay. Oh, man. Sorry, just looking at the commercials here.
No. We backed up?
No, we're okay.
Beep, beep, beep,
Oh, boy.
beep.
So you had a good weekend.
Yes.
Did you do anything special? Oh, Friday night.
Friday night was
You want to talk about that in a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute, but give a preview.
Yeah, it's the Lori's Place Reflections Banquet. It was our 20th anniversary. We had it at Union and Social, which is the Silver Harbor's
event space.
Yeah, event
Yeah,
space.
it's nice.
And it was very cool. Went very well, and saw a lot of local. Even your own Lorraine Day from Midwest Family was there.
From our business development team,
Yeah.
Lorraine Day.
Yeah, and
She sat at your table.
she did.
Okay.
She did.
Very nice.
So it was a good night. A lot of great people, and heard a lot of great comments about the morning show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From who?
Well, I was talking to myself.
I wasn't there.
so-
Oh, you were talking for us.
No.
Good.
No, I had people come up and say they hear us on the radio, and one spouse actually said her husband carries the radio around. I don't know that.
Oh, you can say it. Go ahead.
No,
Oh, you don't have to?
No.
You don't want to. Okay,
No.
that's fine. That's fine. Let's look at the video live stream comments before we get back into the show. John says, good morning. Good morning, John. And John, thank you, by the way, for sharing the Facebook up on Facebook, the video of our show every day.
Yeah.
He's been doing that. So
Awesome.
thank you very much, John. We appreciate that. Bill, good morning, Bill. Hope you had a great weekend. Diane, good morning. Let's see. Sunshine sounds excellent. I'm over the clouds already. I know. It was so gray
It was.
at different points this weekend. Let's see. Diane says, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, we're missing Teresa. Roll call.
Yeah, where's Teresa?
Okay.
Wellness check. We need a wellness check.
All right, we'll be right back. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Let's see. We've got Lakeside Roofing happening right now. Do we have any more closings and delays? Let's do a refresh on that. Nope, just looks like Bloomingdale and Waterville 8, both the 2-hour delays. So we'll talk about that in a sec. Wow, it still looks weird out there. Look, it looks like it's a blizzard.
It really does. It's amazing.
It's so funny. All right, we'll be right back.
Know of a veteran in your community, welcome them home. For some, coming home was not guaranteed or welcomed. And from me to you, my brothers and sisters, thank you for your service. And P.S. Go Army, beat Navy.
Be aware of dense fog and spots this morning. Sun and clouds mixed, highs mid to upper 50s. Scattered showers push in later this afternoon. Rain likely continuing into early Tuesday morning. Lows tonight mid 50s. Warmer and windy tomorrow, highs in the low 60s. Scattered showers arrive late Wednesday, lasting through Thursday, but turning to a rain-snow mix as we see cooler air rush in as we go into the end of the week. I'm WSBT 22 meteorologist Jessica Burns.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
And good morning. Welcome back to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. With me is Mike Weibel. It's Monday, the 18th of November.
Monday.
Yeah, not this week, but next week is Thanksgiving.
It does not seem possible, but
I know.
I have a feeling with this cold switch in the weather that the holidays are going to smack us in the face.
Let's see. One of the things, so Thanksgiving makes you think of football, makes you think of Shabuzi playing the halftime show with the Lions on Thanksgiving Day.
And you're not excited about that.
I'm not excited about that. I asked one of my kids, I said, Shabuzi, high school or not high school, NFL halftime, whatever
that is.
The thing. And he's like, yeah, I don't like Shabuzi.
Huh?
So it's like, okay, I wonder who they're going for. I mean, country music is hot.
It is.
That format is, in fact, we had a listener call in earlier this morning on the WSJM hotline and said, I can't hear 97.5 right now. And I said, well, it's probably because of the fog. Sometimes meteorological things happen and it messes with our signal.
Yep, it does.
And she said, well, I miss my country. I want to hear my country music. I said, well, you might not be able to hear it this morning.
Right.
But you know what? You could tune in to 94.9 WSJM. That's who I am.
Right. And we are live on Facebook.
We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. It's tough when we're not, but it's tough when you're a celebrity and you appear somewhere and somebody burgles your house.
Yeah, that's been a thing now.
It's been a thing. And so we started hearing about it last week where Travis Kelce had his home burgled. Patrick Mahomes had his home burgled.
Yep.
While they were playing a football game.
Yeah.
And now Minnesota Timberwolves' Mike Conley Jr. had his home broken into last September, and Milwaukee Bucks' Bobby Portis suffered the same thing earlier this month.
Yeah, they want it. I was listening to it last night. They were saying that they think they might be connected.
Yeah, they're thinking they're connected.
Yeah.
And it makes sense if you've got high profile people. It's like, oh, I know when you're going to be outside of your home.
Right. In fact, I'm watching you on TV.
Your
right
spouse goes to the game, or your significant other. They go to the game. There's not going to be anybody home at your house.
Right.
Kelsey's home was robbed of $20,000 while he and Taylor Swift were at Arrowhead Stadium back on October 7th. Mahomes had his property broken into on October 6th around midnight. Wisconsin River Hills law enforcement, it didn't even take the FBI. Wisconsin River Hills law enforcement suspect the crimes could all be connected following conversations they've had with other departments in Minnesota and Kansas. And now they are going to get the FBI involved because they think these other incidents had striking similarities.
Yeah. But you think about you break into Kelsey's house, which is a mansion.
Yeah.
And you walk out with $20,000.
Yeah.
Is that really worth prison time for $20,000?
Well, I mean, I would say the nutheads who are doing break-ins and stuff like that, they're not thinking about that. They're thinking they're going to go in, they're going to get all the bling, all the diamonds, they're going to get as much as they can. Let's see. There's a Super Bowl ring value based on materials, design, and significance. Typically, the rings are made of gold and diamonds. They cost somewhere between $30,000 and $50,000 to produce, but their market value can be even higher depending on the rarity. I mean, if you're getting the water person's ring, not so much.
No.
But if you've got one of the Kelsey brothers, that'd be kind of cool.
It would be.
Rings from iconic players or championship teams have sold at auction for hundreds of thousands of dollars or even over $1 million. Tom Brady's family version of a ring sold for $344,927 back in 2022.
But now it's hot, so if you go to sell it,
right? Yeah, what's the
not to be
market for
confused
that
with
stuff?
Hot Santa,
Hot Frosty.
Hot Frosty, or Hot Santa?
I don't know what you're talking
The
about.
movie you were watching.
Hot Frosty.
Oh, Hot
Yeah.
Frosty.
I don't know what you're watching over there. The Hot Santa.
you and Stephanie sit around watching Hot Santa.
No. Hot
Melt
Frosty.
your
It's a
Christmas
wholesome
tree.
movie about, a ice sculpture that is ripped. It has six packs that just won't stop. It's crazy.
Hot Santa comes down the chimney on a pole.
I don't know. Mike Weibel right over there. Did we mention the fog delays? Did we talk
Yeah,
about that? Okay.
yeah.
All right. Bloomingdale and Waterville, 2-hour delays.
2 hour delay.
Because of the fog. But other health news, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention investigating an E. coli outbreak having to do with carrots. At least 18 states are linked to this. One illness discovered in Michigan. At least 39 cases of E. coli have been linked to the carrots since early September, leading to 15 hospitalizations and 1 death. The reported E. coli cases are connected to multiple sizes and brands of bagged, organic, baby, and whole carrots that were recalled Saturday over the weekend by Grimway Farms. How about that for a name of a killer carrot company, Grimway Farms, a carrot producer headquartered in Bakersfield, California. You ever been to Bakersfield?
I have not.
It's where a couple of interstates intersect and people drive serious out there.
Oh.
Road rage and that kind of stuff. The recalled carrots are likely no longer sold in stores, but may still be in your refrigerator or wherever you keep your carrots. People who have recalled carrots should throw them out or return them to the store and clean all surfaces that they may have touched. The recall includes baby organic carrots with best if used by dates ranging from September 11th to November 12th, and whole organic carrots available in stores on or about August 14th through October 23rd. The products were sold under multiple brand names, including Grimway Farms, Sprouts, Trader Joe's, Wegmans, Good and Gather, and others, according to the recall notice. Let's see. E. coli. Yeah. So anyway, so be careful of that. If you got some carrots in there, take a look at it. If you have any questions, look at the CDC website. And one more food item before we go to our next break. Picketing continued yesterday outside a hotel casino near the Las Vegas Strip that remained open with no talks scheduled between management and union members who are striking for a new contract. This is yet another strike.
Yeah.
I mean, we started the year. Who was striking? Was it the auto workers first?
Yep.
So we had auto workers. We had dock workers all along the eastern seaboard. We had Boeing was striking, the air folks. Which, by the way, Boeing just announced like 400 job cuts over the weekend.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Sure, we'll give you more money.
Yeah, and the automotive folks have been announcing a bunch of layoffs. I think GM was the most recent. They announced over 1,000 cuts, something along those lines. But now the culinary folks, that means fancy food.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Fancy food folks in Las Vegas are on strike. Workers are seeking a pay raise and benefits comparable to pacts received last year at other resorts. The walkout by about 700 culinary workers union laborers at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas comes about a week before the second annual Las Vegas Grand Prix, which is going to draw in another few 100,000 fans of Formula One racing as they do the open wheel thing all around the thing there.
I bet they have really good snacks at the culinary union meetings.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, no, I'm not making them. You making them? I'm not making them.
I don't know. I just got a feeling that it's like,
Yeah, that's a good.
I want to join the union.
Yeah.
Why?
Let's-
Just for the snacks.
For the snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're striking. We'll see if they bring things about in time for race day. But General Motors is laying off about 1,000 workers worldwide. again, shedding costs as they try to compete in the crowded global automobile market. The workers, mostly white collar, were notified about the decisions early Friday. So Friday was Axe Day for about 1,000 workers at GM. Company confirmed the layoffs in a statement, but gave few details.
Okay, this brings up a great topic of conversation that I think is overlooked ever since COVID.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yes.
Hand washing.
Oh, what about it?
Well, like during COVID, they talked about all the things to do, and we forgot about the cold and flu season hand washing. And so just washing your hands helps tremendously on a regular basis. In fact, you do the little setting on your Apple Watch, it will make sure that you wash your hands long enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so so that's good. There's a book out. I don't know if you've ever read Atomic Habits by James Clear.
I've seen it on a shelf.
Yeah.
I didn't read it.
So one of the stories they tell in there is how they hired this guy to the Tour de France team of Britain. Hadn't won a Tour de France in like forever.
Yeah.
So they hired him to come in and make some changes. One of the first things he did was require them to wash their hands, which seemed like a very minimal thing.
Okay.
But it cut down their infection rate, their time missed for practice, and ultimately they rebounded and won a Tour de France. So
because they washed their hands.
One of many things, but the Atomic Habits is all about 1%. Do the 1%.
How do we get from culinary to washing your hands? I guess because you wash your hands before the food.
And the contamination, right?
Oh, the E. coli stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you wash your fruits and vegetables before you eat them?
I would love to say all the time.
Have you been in the kitchen? Do you know where the kitchen is in your house?
I do. My wife gets after me, like I'll pull an apple out of the refrigerator and just eat it.
Oh man, you got to wash.
Yeah, I know.
You have to wash all your fruits and vegetables. I mean, you think about the chain of custody, right?
Yeah.
From the farm field all the way till it gets into your mouth. And we're talking about the field. You got the farm workers. You've got the handlers who are moving that from bin to bin in the packaging facility, and then you've got to move it here to the grocery store. And people are walking by, rubbing their nose, grabbing in the produce. I don't like that eggplant. Put it back. And then all of a sudden, Mike Weibel's taking a big old bite of an apple.
But it helps stimulate my immune system.
Yeah, right. We'll talk about that.
Pound that immune system into action.
Speaking of which, Mpox, a new strain found in California.
Mpox?
Yeah, monkeypox.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk a little bit
new
more.
Strain?
Yeah, it's not a good one either. We'll talk about that. It's coming up right here on the WSJM Morning.
Good day to be a monkey.
Wash your hands.
At Audubon Imports, we understand that your time is valuable.
And let's see, I was looking at the comments here, and Bill says we did have a good weekend. He won a 100-lap race on Saturday. Congratulations, Bill.
Wow, that's awesome.
100-lap race. How often are you changing out batteries for that?
Right.
Do you get to change batteries for that? Let's see. John says, "You're welcome, Ken. Y'all have a blessed day." And then Bill says, "This show is going off the rails today."
Oh.
Is that a good one? No, I think that's a good thing, right?
Okay.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
Let's hope it's a good thing. It's going off the rails today.
That's what you should have, like Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train.
Love that album. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Is that Blizzard of Oz?
Probably.
Yeah,
probably. Look at you. I think the first Ozzy album that I really appreciated was Diary of a Madman.
Oh, yeah.
And that, of course, got all the negative,
right? All twisted up.
Well, because of all the photographs on the album cover got people all twisted. Not to be confused with Twisted Sister, which doesn't hold a candle to Ozzy Osbourne.
No, not even close.
Not even close. Let's see here. We still haven't talked about my driving habits. Detroit hospitals. No, this weekend. So Friday, Samuel's got his soccer game out at Kickers.
Yeah.
And I've got to get him there at 8:30.
Okay.
And he's on us at 7:45. Are we leaving yet? So it's like 11 minutes down the road.
Right.
So we finally get there. I get him there about 5 minutes to spare. So 8:25, he's rolling in. He sees his friends. They're all practicing. Pregame. The game doesn't start till 8:50. This is 13-year-old soccer. And I get it. And, there could be worse things that they're doing
Right.
at 8:50 at night. But 8:50 for a soccer game just seems awful late. I'm not just saying that because I
So when
usually
did it get over?
fall asleep. 9:50, about
Wow.
that. 9:45.
It is a late
Because they're
soccer game.
21-minute
Periods.
halves. Yeah. 2 periods, 2 halves, whatever. And then a 5-minute in between. And so 9:50, and I know there are deer out there. 9:50, we're driving home on M139. And we just passed the horse stables.
Okay.
And as we're coming over the last rise at the horse stables, there's a car that is coming right at us. It's no longer perpendicular to us or not parallel with us. It is coming right at us. Here, hold on just a second. We're going to get back to the WSJM morning show here in just a moment. I got 45 seconds. There's no time to shout.
Yeah.
There's no time to honk. There's no time to do anything except, and I know not to overcorrect.
Right.
Right. And thankfully, something kicked in where I didn't overcorrect, but I did move the car out of the way of the other car. And I was sitting in the driver's seat. My son, who is 6 foot, is sitting right behind me.
Yeah.
And we would have been creamed. Stephanie, who's sitting right next to me, and I don't know if she would have survived, but it was a head-on. It would have been a head-on crash. And I don't know what in the world. I didn't even see what kind of car it was because
Wow.
they were moving so fast, and they were coming right at us, and they pulled back into their lane. But holy mackerel! Talk about a heart stopper.
Yeah, for sure. Those are just
Something else. Oh, we got to get back to the show here.
Okay.
Hang on just a second.
WSJM.
It is 7:35. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me, my co-host this morning, co-host du jour.
du jour.
Du jour is Mike Weibel. Morning, Mike.
Good morning.
We were just recounting driving things over the weekend. One that shook me up on Friday night. So if you want to hear about that, we'll talk about it a little bit more on the video live stream, or you can go back and view it or visit it later. But the bottom line, moral of the story is, I don't know what the heck you were doing. Not you, Mike,
Right.
but I don't know what that other person was doing on the roadway there, but they weren't paying attention.
Yeah,
and it
or
almost
intoxicated
claimed
or something.
Yeah, they almost, however it would have ended, it would have changed lives.
Yeah.
So
It's time you wish you could carry a little citizen's arrest Barney Fife thing and flip around. And,
well, you don't have one? I have one.
You do you?
Oh yeah, I have the siren.
WSJM edition of
No, I had to go out and make my own. I went to Radio Shack.
Yeah.
No. All right, it's 7:36. We've got ABC News coming up and a look at our local news next.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston.
I mean, I hope they didn't have a medical emergency.
Right.
My first thought was, I hope they're not having some sort of heart attack and that's why they're not in their lane, or that's why they're coming right at me.
Right.
But I tell you, my son back there, bless his heart, Samuel, the first thing he said was, now I know why you play the driving games on video games. Boy, that was fast reflexes. I'm like, yeah.
That's right.
After the initial shock was worn off. But that's scary stuff.
No, it is.
So I don't know if they were avoiding a deer, which don't veer for deer.
Don't veer for deer.
No, you don't. I mean,
No,
that's
you
the
can't.
saying is don't veer for deer because
Yeah.
you're gonna kill somebody.
Right.
Don't know if they were drunk. Don't know if they were texting. Don't know if they were falling asleep. Any of those things change your life, man. All right,
Yeah.
well, hang on one second. We got to get back for news.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:37. WSJM Morning Show continues. Good morning. Ken Lundberg here. Mike Weibel over there. We're on the video live stream as well. So if you want to watch and get some exclusive behind-the-scenes content, we've got it for you today. It's at WSJM's YouTube or Facebook page. Just tune in, type in WSJM, and you can watch us and get some exclusive stories that we're
And
relaying.
like, follow, and subscribe.
Like, follow, and subscribe, because that way you get the instant notification. You don't have to go searching around and all that other stuff. Instant notification. It's foggy out there today, and a couple of places are operating on 2-hour delays. The closings and delays brought to you by Kepner's Precision Auto Crafters. 2-hour delay for Bloomingdale Public Schools, 2-hour delay for Waterville Public Schools, both of them mentioning due to heavy fog. and low visibility. They are starting 2 hours late. Forecast for today is partly sunny, 40% chance of afternoon/evening rain showers, high around 58 degrees, east winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast mostly cloudy, 60% chance of rain showers, southeast winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, a low around 54. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Tuesday's forecast cloudy and a 70% chance of rain early, high around 62. Did you get out in golf this weekend?
Saturday was my last round.
Did you do well?
Harbor Shores is now officially closed.
Oh, wah, wah, wah. Southwest winds tomorrow, 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 35. People are worried about coastal erosion this week.
Yeah.
Because wacky weather's moving through. So we'll keep an ear on that.
Wacky weather. And there's no ice built up. The ice protects
right.
the beach. And now, obviously at 50 degrees, we're not getting any ice.
Not so much. We've got more coming up in just a few moments. We've got, let's see, what else? We should probably talk about the stories we're going to have at 8 o'clock this morning. Which are meetings in Stevensville. Stevensville residents are being asked their opinion on what should we put in our master plan. As we update our master plan, what do you want to see? And so they've got 2 meetings scheduled this week. The first is tomorrow. The second is Thursday. Both of them happen at 6 p.m. They're going to meet with the Planning Commission. They're going to meet with the Parks Commission committee, and they are looking at gathering input. They asked a few folks from Andrews University to help out, because the students there, they helped with Buchanan and getting their master plan updated.
Yeah.
Apparently did a great job.
Awesome.
So, and I imagine the labor's kind of cheap.
Yeah,
so.
I'm thinking that might be an incentive.
So we'll talk about that coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Also, Christmas is more than a month away, and we told you about this story a little bit ago. If you didn't hear it, tune in at 8 o'clock. A couple of Grinches have already been busy in Southwest Michigan, stealing books from the little free libraries.
Ridiculous.
Who does that?
It's a cold Grinch.
They were
Grinch.
They were driving a minivan.
Oh.
Yeah. So there you go. Minivan. Be on the lookout.
You're
BOL.
a book stealer, Mr. Grinch.
Exactly. Barry and Risa is planning a winter celebration for families this December, so we'll tell you about that. Those stories and more coming up. It's the WSJM Morning Show. It's 7:40.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. We could see.
So just to conclude the story on the driving bit.
Yeah.
So again, you really have to pay attention, not only when you're driving, but when you're, how do I say this? If you're the one that's doing a distraction, like either you're inebriated or you're playing with your cell phone or you're yelling at the kids or whatever like that, you got to pay attention, better attention. But if you're just driving along and you're paying attention as well, you got to watch for that.
Right.
I mean, because this one, all the conditions were horrible because you had dark as night, you had a hill, and all of a sudden headlights blazing right at you. What do you do?
Right.
What do you do? So
it could have been really bad.
Yeah, be careful. And again, as Mike, you were pointing out this morning, the deer, fewer hunters, more deer. They're running around.
Be
careful.
Yeah, there was a lot in the backyard this weekend, more than normal. So I shouldn't say normal, more than has been the springtime, summertime. They kind of break off and then they start to herd back up in the fall and winter, and they are in that process.
Yeah. All right, just checking in on our WSJM video live stream for the comments.
But at my house, the deer kind of come to the back, look in the window, and be like, "Hey, we're out here. Is anybody going to bring us anything?" It's like trick or treating.
Do you feed them?
Yeah.
What do you feed them?
Corn.
Oh, is it on the cob? Is it in a can? Is it cream corn? What is it?
No, it's back.
Cornbread?
It's already
taco shells.
Yeah, tacos. No, and then I've got turkeys. I've got the squirrels. I've got it's a winter.
We need to talk about the turkeys because the governor, don't wait. Don't say anything. Hang on a second. Let's see here.
What did they name the turkey?
Okay, because Mike had what I thought was a winning entry, but I'm pretty sure we did not get picked because we're WSJM.
Oh,
yeah, because we're media.
That's prejudicial.
Yeah, they probably
prejudicial.
because they thought media. But Governor Gretchen Whitmer continued her annual tradition of pardoning a turkey ahead of Thanksgiving. This year's turkey, the name was, have you heard this already?
Nope, I'm waiting.
Aiden Cluckinson.
Oh, we were so much better than that.
In honor of the Detroit Lions Pro Bowl defensive end and Michigan native, Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, I don't think he's
Aiden
impressed by
Cluckinson.
that.
No, I think she's just riding the bandwagon of the Detroit Lions being fantastic.
That's a lame duck thing to do.
Nearly 4,500 entries, including mine and Mike's, were submitted during this year's turkey naming contest. The winning name was submitted by Valentina from South Lyon. Yeah, Valentina.
I'm thinking somehow she's connected.
She's a young girl in South Lyon.
Well, her dad might work for Whitmer. I don't know.
Whitmer has pardoned 3 turkeys since 2022. They were Dolly Pardon and Mitch E. Gander. Mitch E. Gander. But they should have named the turkey what you suggested, which was,
I forget.
Tater Delicious.
Tater
Delicious. Yeah.
I thought that was good.
I mean, better than Aiden Cluckinson.
Yeah.
We saw some wild turkeys. I think they were wild turkeys. They were free roam turkeys.
Okay.
This weekend. They were really cute. They were oddly enough white. And they weren't the wild looking turkeys. They were very slim, like they were a European turkey. Yeah. Had a beret on, sunglasses, smoking a cigarette, leaning up against the shed. Yeah.
Throw the scarf up.
Yeah. I'm taking a break from my miming.
so my dogs go nuts over like Amazon. Even when nobody's there, they go nuts. Well, they hear something, and this weekend, Saturday, going nuts. And my wife is yelling at them, "There's nobody here."
Your wife is yelling at the dogs, telling them there's no one here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I look out, and there's 2 turkeys standing on the porch looking in the sliding glass window at them, going nuts. And they're just looking around.
Oh,
and then,
my gosh.
Yeah. We've had that happen on occasion.
That's great. Do they peck the window?
No, don't peck
Okay.
the window. They just go up, look in, and sort of like, hey, again, I think they're in cahoots with the deer.
Okay.
Hey, where's the corn?
Where's the corn? Give us more corn. You're out of corn. Did you know you're out of corn?
You're out of corn.
Boy, Stephanie put new suet in the bird feeders this weekend.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. The birds were very active. They were, it's like, it's about time.
Yeah.
And then there were 20 birds just.
Do you think they sense that it's going to get cold?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet you're right. There was I don't know if it was a downy woodpecker or whatever, but there was one of the small ones, black and white with a little red band on the back. And it was just hanging out, watching things. Yeah.
My father-in-law feeds the crows.
Nice.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So we had crows hanging around this summer. They had a baby.
Yeah.
And so then he put a big, probably a 14-inch plastic plate on his deck, and he puts all kinds of just stuff
Garbage,
on the
leftovers.
garbage on there, and they eat. He feeds the crows. So
I respect crows. They're smart.
Oh,
they
very
serve
smart.
a purpose. They're not as annoying as seagulls.
Oh, right.
And they sponsor a lot of memes.
They do.
Yeah, because on social media last week, I was telling Stephanie this, I saw a picture of Sheryl Crow, and it said Sheryl Crow under it. And then there was a picture of like 20 different images of Sheryl Crow, and it said under it, Sheryl Murder.
I don't get it.
Because a group of crows is called a murder of crows.
Oh, gotcha. Now I'm there.
See, it's that level of humor that that
sparks.
And watching Hot Frosty on Netflix.
Hot Frosty.
It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
All right. 7:47. It's the WSJM morning show. Let's see if we can put the show back on the rails here, and we'll get our Moody on the market update in just a moment.
Be aware of dense fog and spots this morning. Sun and clouds mixed, highs mid to upper 50s. Scattered showers push in later this afternoon. Rain likely continuing into early Tuesday morning. Lows tonight mid 50s. Warmer and windy tomorrow, highs in the low 60s. Scattered showers arrive late Wednesday, lasting through Thursday, but turning to a rain-snow mix as we see cooler air rush in as we go into the end of the week. I'm WSBT 22 meteorologist Jessica Burns.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
Oh, yeah. You gotta tell the joke again, because we were hearing about dense fog,
Right.
and I made the joke that fog was had a personality, and it was a
Right.
very dense personality.
Dense.
And then the fog told the joke.
And the joke was, I'll give you $1 for every time you see a deer.
Ah, get it?
Yeah.
Buck, deer.
Right.
Yeah, these
It
are the
fit with the dense fog.
We tell better jokes on the video live stream.
Right. Well, like, follow, and subscribe, and you get the better version of the joke.
That's exactly right. It's 7:48. It's time for the Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. On the WSJM morning show, was it last week we heard from Chris Cook about Harbor
Yes.
Shores?
Yes.
Yeah. And we heard a lot about Harbor Shores and the development plans that they have. And this is part of their big vision that they've been working on for like the last 15 years, where they've rehabilitated contaminated soils and brought back a lot of that usable land. They've made the golf course, obviously, but a lot of residential areas, and they do have more residential areas planned.
Yes.
And they recently purchased Modern Plastics.
They did.
For basically the back taxes that were owed on it. But boy, they're going to be spending millions of dollars to clean that place up.
And they say they'll have it all torn down and cleaned up by the spring.
Yes, springtime is when, well, not cleaned up. They'll have the demolition.
Right.
They'll have the demolition, but I think the cleanup will probably take longer because they've got to do several environmental assessments. That's going to take a long time. But part of your Moody on the Market update today is another revitalization project happening in that same area.
Nice.
So just south of Modern Plastics is the Benton Harbor Arts District.
Yep.
And in fact, we have a story. It's an exclusive on Moody on the Market today, as most of our stories are. There's a new Benton Harbor Arts District revitalization project underway already. It's already underway. Benton Harbor Arts District is the site for a new major development that stands to inject vitality into that area like nothing that's been seen since the creation of neighboring Harbor Shores. It won't be as big, but that singular area around the Arts District has not seen this size of development, I think, in a very long time. The development is not a pipe dream. Properties have already been purchased. Cleanup is already underway. Environmental monitoring is already installed and in place. Informal community inputs are already being gathered, and the concepts with construction phases are in the works. Early concepts include restoring the existing structures. The area we're talking about is next to the Mason Jar and east of there where the Thayer building is.
Okay.
So if you know the old Thayer building, there's a whole collection of little buildings around there that are just not being used for anything anymore.
Right.
There's the old antique place, which is known, it's known familiarly as the old firehouse, although it was never a firehouse, according to the experts, the history experts at the Morton House. But it looks like an old firehouse. They think it was actually two buildings merged into one with one roof over it.
Okay.
So that building, the Thayer building, which they had all the cleaning chemicals and everything else in there, basically a throughput. But that huge building. Then there's that little building that has the corner, like triangular structure.
Yep.
That building is part of this new development. There's a building behind the Thayer building, which I think was a Voice of Music facility at some point. That building is part of it. And then there's another building and then some empty parcels. So there are at least 5 different buildings, some parcels that have already been purchased by an investor from the east side. Somebody, the company is called Clement Construction.
Okay.
And it's a name a few people do know in Benton Harbor. They might be familiar with them because they've been working on some of the infrastructure projects around Benton Harbor, talking about utility lines.
Okay.
And so forever and a day, that crew, the leadership of that crew, has been over here. They're headquartered right now over in Clarkston. They were in Waterford. Now they're in Clarkston on the east side. But the leadership of that crew had been visiting here for like the last couple of years, looking at all the buildings going, this seems like a real nice area. We love eating at Mason Jar. Why isn't anyone doing anything with these buildings here?
Right.
And so they said, well, why don't we do something with the buildings here? So they talked to some people, they got some real estate deals going, and now they're already cleaning out a lot of those buildings.
Oh boy.
And they've already got, I saw the rendered drawings of what they want to do with it. So there's a huge article here at moodyonthemarket.com. And I talked with Jared Clement. I talked with their CFO, Mitch Brady, talked with some other folks there. And it's really exciting. And the one way they describe the company, Clement Construction, is they're not patient people.
Oh.
And so they wanted to get going right away. So they already are, in fact. And another thing that they said is, we're not here to flip stuff. We're here to invest for the long term. And in fact, Jared and his wife, Natalie, what they said was that they want to develop something community focused and huge in that area that's in keeping with the arts district that they can pass on one day to their son.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so they're thinking about mixed use for some commercial. They're thinking about maybe an Italian restaurant or maybe a steak restaurant or something like that in the old antique building, and residential above that. And then in the Thayer building, they toured the box factory in St. Joe and said, we'd like to do something similar here. It's the arts district.
Right. Definitely.
Why not? And then, so that could be in the center of the Thayer building. If you've ever been inside there, it's huge inside, a lot of square footage. They're talking about overall this whole development, maybe around 70, 80,000 square feet to deal with.
Yeah.
And so they're thinking in the bottom of the Thayer building, do some box factory type art studios. And then around that could be some commerce, but they want to vet every individual, every group that wants to go in there to make sure it reflects the community, to make sure that they have some staying power, that it's not kind of an overnight flip type thing, and that it's not just transactional commerce, that it's come down and enjoy the area and go away kind of commerce. So and then residential above that as well.
Okay.
And I mean, in the Benton Harbor area, you need housing.
Oh, everybody needs housing.
Right.
Now,
And so it's a really exciting development. I spend a lot of time, as you might tell, with these individuals. Wrote the whole story, so it's right there at moodyonthemarket.com. So if you want to check it out, do so. And the Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph. And I feel like I was just running on. Did that make sense?
It did, totally. I had no idea that was
right
in the mix.
Well, and the funny thing was, I was down there talking with some folks, and they said, well, this is happening and this is happening. And I said, okay, well, who should I reach out to? Reached out, and the Clement Construction folks, incredibly nice, and were welcoming, and they gave me a tour of their all the different buildings that they have and that they're working on, and it's really exciting.
So they're excited about it too.
They're very excited about it, and we played ping pong.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice cap of an experience.
Well, Jared Clement, he said, "You any good at ping pong?" I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, oh, okay. And then before I left, I said, can we play ping pong now? Because they had a ping pong table in one of their things. And he's like, yeah, I think I beat him.
Did you?
Well, we didn't keep score. We didn't keep score.
Oh.
But I kept hitting the ball, and it would just barely nick the edge of the table and then go off into the corner.
I could see that as a great East Side, West Side kind of thing.
Ping pong championships. Right. Yeah. If you want to read that full story, go to moodyonthemarket.com. We've got a couple more things here to visit before news. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Rich Brand and Tarek Halsey of IMS Insurance
I don't know. I'm really excited about that arts district development.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I mean, because you think about different things that could happen there. If you're talking about bringing people in for non-transactional things.
Right.
And where do you go? If you live in the arts district right now, where do you go for groceries?
Yeah,
you have to drive.
Right.
You have to drive. If you're in the arts district, where do you go for an evening restaurant? I mean, there are a few options down there, which is great. I love them, but you can always do with a little bit more.
Well, and especially if the Modern Plastics area is going to be developed, hopefully as some residential.
Yes,
that's only going to drive more of that kind of revitalization down there.
And I would imagine if you have the ability to have a number of different living situations, whether it's condo or apartments, the affordability is going to be a little better for some folks who don't want to, get into a golf villa at this point.
No, but there's a lot of people that have bought those houses, villas, condos, and then do the VRBO thing as far as when events come into town, which makes it more attractive for some of those
That's true.
tourists.
Yeah. Tourists. Yeah. So that I just think I love the arts district, the old architecture. And that's another thing is they want to retain as much of the old architecture. The Thayer building right now has metal siding. Their plan is to pull that off.
Wow.
and restore the brick that's there. And they showed me some pictures of what the building was before it was faced up with the metal siding. And they've done this before, and so they know what they're getting into. In fact, the old antique store there, when they bought it, somebody said, "Hey, there's some sewage in the basement, and it's a bit murky down there. We have a basement." So what had happened is they had an internal pipe bust in there, and they had sewage that was probably 4 or 5 feet deep.
Oh no!
Down in the basement of that, they cleaned it all out. I walked through it, and I mean, it looks spick and span. And so they're planning some really good things. Joik Bell owned the antique building.
Okay.
Prior, and he was going to put a marijuana dispensary in there.
Right.
But for whatever reason, decided against it. And so they're thinking, well, we'll probably do a restaurant and then residential on top of that.
Right.
Sorry, I'm just looking at my timing here, and I am off. Let's see. Good morning. Oh, good morning, Stuart. Stuart Lundberg, who shares my same last name. Look at that.
Oh,
he's my son.
Yes.
Yeah. Stuart, get to your studies. Get to your studies. All right, we've got to get to ABC News here in just a moment. We're going to conclude the video live stream. Thank you for joining us.
Look how nicely it's cleared up outside.
Yeah, it's gorgeous out. What is that thing coming in? Oh,
that's a red. Oh,
is that
looks
a station wagon? SUV? What is that?
Yeah, it's a little SUV. Kind of looks like Witkowski. But...
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
An appointment today. McGee'sHeating.com.
McGee's Heating and Air. Feel at ease with McGee's.
Local news is next. ABC News Now. It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston.